The Two Baroque Girls. Hello, and today we will be talking about two pieces of art from the Baroque period.
I'm Alexis Howard, and I will be going over Caravaggio's The Death of a Virgin.
I am Amanda, and I will be going over Pluto and Proserpina.
So the piece I've chosen is The Death of the Virgin by Caravaggio. This piece is located in the Louvre in Paris. The piece was originally commissioned as an altarpiece for the Church of Santa Maria del Scala, or however you say that.
It's Santa Maria della Scala.
Like that. Around 1604 or perhaps 1605, we're not sure. So Caravaggio is well known as an important figure in the Baroque movement. He is considered one of the most important Italian painters in the entire 17th century. He is known for his use of tenebrism, or painting in a dark manner. He uses one light source to create high contrast between light and dark without many, if not any, reflections. This is also known as emphatic chiaroscuro.
Emphatic chiaroscuro.
He is also notorious for being a painter assassin. And
Wait, assassin?
yeah, he has various criminal charges, including murder. The depiction of the Virgin Mary's death is often called dormination. Mary is often depicted ascending into heaven after her death. And this dates back to the Byzantine era. But in Caravaggio's version, the apostles are seen gathering around to mourn the death of the Virgin Mary. Mary is seen on her deathbed, having already passed on. The figure that is posed on the side of Mary is supposed to be Mary Magdalene. The figures in the foreground look overcome and overwhelmed by their grief. In the background, the drapery guides the eye down and around the frame and also gives the suggestion of a bedchamber. Here we see that Caravaggio's use of tenebrism. There's a hint of the background, but it's still very dark. There's muted colors with the exception of red on the drapery and Mary's dress. The overall painting has a muted color scheme, with the exception of the red on the drapery and Mary's dress. There is also a special emphasis on Mary Magdalene. There is almost as much light on her as there is on Mary. It's as if Caravaggio wanted to perhaps suggest a relationship and highlighting Mary as maybe a true mourner. There's also a space on the left for the viewer to enter the scene as well. Caravaggio's painting style brings the subjects down to earth and humanizes them. Mary is portrayed in a very undone and common way. Her dress is coming undone, her feet and her legs are bare, and there is only a faint halo that hints at her status. In fact, if you were not looking at this painting very close, you would not even realize that it was there. The fathers of the church rejected this painting because they had issues with Caravaggio's portrayal of Mary. First, because she was portrayed dead, which is a no-no, and also with bare legs and feet, which was considered inappropriate for a respectable woman, let alone the Virgin Mary. Also, it was rumored that the model that Caravaggio used for Mary was actually a prostitute.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So the fathers of the church were like, no. You can't roll up here with a prostitute trying to portray the Virgin Mary. Psh, that is not happening. What Caravaggio is doing here is foregoing tradition by toning down the spiritual aspect of the scene. Caravaggio is emphasizing the reality of death rather than the theological importance of the event. He is bringing the Virgin Mary down to earth and making her death universal. It's as if it were a close family member or friend who had died.
17 years later. My art piece's name is said 2 to 3 different ways, but I'm going to clarify this right now. The title should be Pluto and Proserpina, not Pluto and Persephone. Pluto is Roman. Persephone is Greek. They don't belong in the same sentence. The rape of Proserpina isn't even... Well, the piece was done by Gian Lorenzo Bernini. It was based off the mythical story of how Pluto got his bride. The whole thing starts when Venus, goddess of love,
Why don't you simplify that?
Fine.
Pluto kidnaps Proserpina. Her parents, Ceres, the goddess of agriculture, and Jupiter, the god of the sky, look for her with help from the other gods. But by the time they find out where she might be, it's too late. Proserpina was tricked into eating pomegranate seeds, and Pluto made a deal for Proserpina to return to her mother. But for every pomegranate seed food she ate, she would have to spend a month in the underworld with him. And that's pretty much the reason for the seasons changing. Spring and summer is when daughter and mother are back together, but then during the winter, everything is dead because the mother is just so sad that Proserpina is not with her.
And now the sculpture is currently on display at the Galleria Borghese in Rome, Italy.
That was the shorter version?
Hey, there's a lot of important stuff that happens. It's not my fault. The sculpture is made out of marble, and the characters in the piece are Pluto, the Roman god of the underworld, Proserpina, the Roman goddess representing life, death, and rebirth, and Cerberus, the three-headed guard dog of the underworld. What bugs me is why Cerberus is so puny looking. Who would ever be afraid of a 2 to 3 foot tall three-headed guard dog? He's supposed to be bigger and...
Stay on point, DC. This isn't Percy Jackson.
Well, the sculpture right now is depicting when Pluto is kidnapping Proserpina. Not raping, kidnapping. The other name for this art piece is The Rape of Proserpina, which is completely false. There is no funny business going on in this depiction. Pluto is simply picking her up and stealing her away.
DC!
What? It's true!
There are more important elements to the sculpture than that. Regardless of how irritated you've gotten over the piece, remember that Bernini was more focused on capturing the satisfaction on Pluto's face, the fear in Proserpina's eyes, and the tension and iron grip that Pluto has on his prize.
Okay, I get your point. As an art piece itself, it seems more than a statue in marble. Like how the chi form makes the whole piece more dynamic with how Proserpina's arms are going out, fighting off her abductor. The characters look like they're in motion, like how Proserpina's hair is waving behind her. The stone that's just in the air is pretty cool. Pluto's right back leg is angled and flexed, almost like it's about to lift off the ground for that next forward step. There's a lot of things that are suggesting movement. And there's amazing detail in Proserpina's waist and thigh, where Pluto's fingers are pressing into the skin, keeping her in place. It's incredible how there is this 3D image of soft, yielding skin, even though it's made out of hard, unforgiving stone. That's pretty cool.
Thanks for joining us on
The Two Baroque Girls.
Yeah, that's cute, right?
You ready to record?
Yeah.
Did you already do it?
Yeah.
Okay, we got it.